You can't see down there, but we're getting serious. We've got an X mark on the floor. So, thank you, Sophia.
You're welcome.
Come in here. Come in here. Say hello and goodbye.
Hi, Dad. Bye, Dad.
She's going to London for 12 months. Is that all? Just
That's
12 months?
all.
And then you're coming back to us?
Of course.
Promise?
Yes, for you, Gary.
Do we believe you?
Yes.
Have fun, honey. What? Can you take that? Sorry. I'm not allowed to get out of the shot. Thank you, Sophia. That was my coffee. Don't go too far with it. I'm 22. This is the first letter tonight. And really want to tell the people who make the big decisions in this country, that they disappoint me on so many levels. Oh, global warming, all that sort of stuff. Science. Second letter tonight, I can't find that my relationships start getting complicated when a third, fourth and fifth party start to be more significant than the views of the couple. Who's interfering? We'll find out when we get to the letter. Who's there? Bid's there. Clinton's there. The girls haven't arrived yet. And the last letter tonight, Elvis is still alive. Harold Holt was taken by a Chinese submarine. And we'll see how many conspiracy theorists we have on the panel. Don't go away. Sweet and Sour coming up right now. See you soon. Bye, Sophia. Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company. Terrific to have all these guests in tonight too. First up, you know them because you've seen every single one of them. Bid was new to us not so long ago. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here, sir.
It's the most fun you can have sitting down.
Now, you were just saying earlier on that you're playing the part of what?
The Angel of Death.
The Angel of Death. Are we
good
allowed
is
to know
that?
what production it's in, or do we keep it under wraps?
Not yet, no.
The Angel of Death. Are you enjoying that?
I am.
I'm
I am.
pleased.
It's the role I was born to play.
The Angel of Death. Me too.
And I'm sitting next to him.
Tenille, welcome back to the show.
Hello, thank you.
It's been forever. Trying to get you back on this show has been such a marathon effort. You are so busy. What's happened since the last time we saw you?
Oh gosh, I've built a few companies, I've sold a few, I've gone on and travelled the world and spoken at conferences, and yeah, just getting things done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good to have you back. We'll chat more about what
Thank
you've been
you.
doing. All right. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Gary.
How's the art world?
It's all right.
All right, well, you can tell us a little bit more later as well.
I've got 2 commissions, so that's
Good girl.
Yeah.
Clinton,
Hello, mate.
how are you?
Always good.
How's the world of specs?
Getting busier.
Busier?
Busier.
Why? Is it towards the end of the year people
Yes.
start going cross-eyed?
They
or
do. They do. And they need to use their health funds before the year
Oh, of
runs
course
out.
they do. Me too.
So yeah,
Good to
before
have you
Christmas
back.
time.
You
do
do.
need to get more, Alex.
Here we go. First letter of the evening. Hi, Mitch. I'm 22 and really want to tell people who make the big decisions in this country that they disappoint me on so many levels. Money doesn't do it for me. All this economic speak for me is just a real distraction. Science and technology have always driven the world's economies anyway, but it seems this really comes second in the minds of the pollies to the dollar. Please let these fools who purport to represent me know that they need to get a true understanding of science. Acknowledge that global warming is real and needs a real commitment from the government because we only have one planet. File sharing of music and film is not piracy, and people fleeing persecution are refugees, not illegal immigrants. I have no love for either Bill Shorten or Tony Abbott. None of them speaks my language, nor to my way of thinking, to my way of thinking. What will make the politicians ever take courageous steps to prioritise humans over the dollar and engage me and people who think like me? Even New Zealand is looking to engage the youth with some inspirational thinking and directions. They will certainly get a new flag and move to a republic before we ever do. What will get our pollies to take notice of the desires and aspirations of the young people? Jared of Lower Templestowe in Victoria writes, Clinton, politicians.
Oh, our favourite people.
Our favourite
people. Everyone loves a poly.
Why can't they engage the young people?
Well, look, they probably don't really know, Jared, to be honest, what the young people want. That's probably the main point here. It must have been, when I was reading this, I had to sort of go back and remind myself that Jared himself was 22, because he's taken a massive interest in politics and things like global warming and all the rest of it. I don't think a lot of young people really do these days, unfortunately. They're too busy. It's a very iPad, pod technology. That's all they focus on. Politics, they think, is
Oh, well,
boring.
here's one who's saying something else.
And I reckon this is great. So, look, Jared, it probably takes people like yourself, mate, to stand up and create maybe some groups for young people who share similar interests with you and a love of politics, and make some noise, mate. The pollies aren't going to know what the people want unless they hear a strong voice about it.
Okay, tell me, is it an age thing? Is it not? Is it just 22 and lower that aren't engaged by these people, or is it so many others?
It's an all of us thing, because I don't care about politics. However, you realise that you have to at some point. But I think it is probably an age thing. Young people really would struggle, I think, to be swept up in the world of politics because they would view it as boring. But if they've got a leader like Jared there, exactly right. If politics is boring.
You don't like politics,
I hate
do you?
politics.
But surely you're engaged in things like global warming. And
You know what?
Because it's not about politics, it's about
Environment.
we've got to do
Community.
something.
Well, one thing, I was really impressed with your use of words, Jared. Purport. What does that mean? Anyway, no, listen, I think you're right about the science and technology. And one thing I've got to say is that no matter what anyone says, nothing is going to happen, because politics will always be politics. The pollies will always do what they want to do, no matter how you jump and
I
jump
don't know
and
whether
everything.
that's true.
It's true. They don't
I'll
care
tell you why
about
it's
anyone
not true.
except themselves.
Because you have people on the planet like Tenille who gets things happening, right?
That's it, we do stuff.
What do you say to Jared of Lower Templestowe?
Oh, look, in the conferences that I've spoken at around the world, the one question that I ask them is, are you happy with the way the current world has been run? And no one puts their hand up. So what that tells me is that there is a major shift that needs to happen beyond the politicians, beyond everything. We need to change the way we are doing business, because currently the only business success we're going to have is killing ourselves off as a species, which we are successfully doing. So something is not working, and I agree with you.
And every other species at the same time.
That's exactly right.
But the politicians control us.
Well, the politicians
nothing we
are
can do
controlled by
about
the
it. Yeah, they do.
corporations and the rich elite, so it's
The
really
rich
not them.
elites.
Yeah, and they all work
They're
together.
growing.
Yep, so until that changes, and I think what's happening is
Not
the
in
digital
our
media
lifetime.
space is letting that change. They're actually giving us information that we would otherwise not get
Yeah,
information.
agree.
Get in there, educate yourself, and see outside of what we're being told on the mass media.
Big, last word on this one.
Couldn't agree more, Tenille. Jared, you raised so many issues in your letter, but I want to talk about just one: science. To paraphrase the great inventor Henry Ford, who said history is bunk, I want to say science is bunk. How do I mean that?
Science is bunk.
I mean that it changes. It's fluid. What was scientific fact yesterday suddenly isn't today. And I want to give you an example.
You're going to get
You
me going.
raised,
We've only
you
got
raised
one
global warming. Okay, Jared, you're 22. I'm a tiny bit older. So I remember that just 40 years ago, every scientific mind on the planet was talking about, drum roll please, cataclysmic ice age, that is global cooling. Spool on 20 years, I know because I was part of a team that produced, I think, Australia's first documentary on the Nine Network called The Hot War. Check it out. This is years and years before Al Gore, about global warming. Now, in the spool on to now, and I am less convinced by the rubbery science. Virtually nothing that
But it's not the science. Remember,
nothing that the modelling has
science
said has come true.
The
Nothing.
models are wrong, but
The models
science
are
is,
wrong.
Science is a process.
Yeah, indeed,
And science
This is
actually turned around and said, okay, this is the way we're going. It's science that's responsible
And
for
the
those
science
exactly.
outcomes.
The
So what I'm
science
saying is
It's
that
the politicians who grab hold of the models and say the models are wrong, which they
They
are.
won't do
exactly.
anything.
The
it's
Okay, but
climate
the
is
scientists
changing,
are not
Jared,
gonna
but
happen.
not in the way that the models
Not
are
in our
saying.
lifetime.
So what I'm saying is, my point is, keep your faith in science if you want, but be prepared to change it.
Be prepared to change it. Science is a process.
Nothing's going to change.
We don't have anything better.
Not in our lifetime.
Well, it's just a method.
Blah, blah,
It's
blah.
a method, it's a process. It's a
There they
fairly
go, they're
consistent
gonna
one.
argue now.
The problem that I see that we have in this instance is that we simply reach for conclusions. And science isn't about conclusions, it's about hypotheses that are tested. And once they're tested and we find that those conclusions or supported
He's
ideas
got Gary going now.
aren't supported anymore, they go.
Over time and in
But
context. That's my point.
politicians don't do that. We've got to go. When we come back, we're going to be talking about complicated lives and moving on because people are getting involved in relationships. We're over time, Sophia's telling me. Okay, take it easy. Bye for now. See you
Not
soon.
by a lot, only by 38 minutes.
End of the show now.
time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now. There it is. letters@sweetandsour.net.au. You can hop on and have a look on the web as well. We're at sweetandsour.net.au. Like us on Facebook, give us a tweet, and you can even have a look behind the scenes on Instagram at Sweet and Sour TV. There you go. And for everyone who does send us a letter, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week is...
Ian Earl and the Dying Girl.
That's it?
Meant to be awesome.
Meant to be awesome?
Meant to be really good.
I'm going to go.
Anyone seen it?
Nope.
No.
Okay, and we're all rushing out to
I'm
see it,
going
are
to
we?
go and see it. I've
Well,
got
Clint,
tickets.
he said
I
it's
am.
We'll go to 9:15 after this.
Yeah. Go on then, let's go.
Here we go. That's letter 1. We don't want that one. We want letter 2. Dear Sweet and Sour, I lead a very uncomplicated life. When it starts getting complicated, I move to simplify it. Relationships are frankly a pain in the butt. And while they always start out simple, they then always seem to become complicated and burdensome. So I am constantly quitting relationships because they become horribly complex. It always happens. I keep trying and getting back in the game because I think the natural state of humans is to be in a relationship and not alone. I'm starting to think, however, that I'm going to be better off alone. Can someone be happy alone? I'm not sure because everyone tells me that being alone leads to loneliness. So I suppose my question is, can you be alone without being lonely? As a bit of an insight, my relationships start getting complicated when a third, fourth or fifth party start to be more significant than the views of the couple. Those other parties are usually brothers, sisters, parents, etc. Everyone starts imposing their will and expectations. So again, can someone be happy alone? And it comes to us from Lachlan at Hammersley in WA. Bid, can we be happy alone?
Absolutely. Will they automatically be lonely? I don't think so. But here's what I have a problem with. You say that when things start to get complicated, you bail. Lachlan, if you're going to avoid life's complications, you're going to miss a whole lot of the juice of life, the breadth and the depth. Songwriter Tom Waits says, if you take away my devils, then my angels might go too. Don't get me wrong, I think there's a great place for peace, quiet, keeping your own counsel and your own private space. But if you only ever listen to your own voice, you never hear anything new.
No, great.
So being around other people means that you get the opportunity, in fact, the privilege really, of hearing and listening to something new. So you grow. It's called life. It's called growth. It's called evolving. It's called living, mate. So if that's what you call complicated, then head for a cave. But you might miss out on being inspired or challenged or motivated or loved.
Tenille, do you like being alone?
I love it. I've been alone on my journey. I've taken my own journey. And yeah, for the last year, it's been great.
Has it been more productive than when you were in a relationship?
It's been productive in the sense of just retaining that energy for myself and actually working on my own projects. And yeah, so I suppose it's been a little bit productive. But
So you can be more productive when you're alone.
you can, because you obviously don't have another human there to deal with. So, you know, it's just...
Is that the desired state? Is that where you want to be?
No, it's not just all part of the journey, really. It's a journey of being comfortable in my own space and who I am, and being very happy with where that is, and finding that in having a relationship with myself. Yeah, it's been great. So
Lachlan's making an error here, though, isn't he?
Look, I think with Lachlan, I think the thing is that the very belief system that you're driving with is that they're complicated. Therefore, all you're going to create is complicated relationships. So you've got to look at the core of what it is as to what it is that what's your core reason, your core motivation behind why you believe they're complicated. Because what you think about, you bring about. You're going to be creating this environment. You create your own reality. So, you know, you've got to look at the core issue, and instead of looking at being alone as, you know, the option, it's almost like you're trying to convince yourself that being alone is the only option. So I think what you've got to first of all look at is the core belief system behind what you're saying and why you're creating this apparent reality, and maybe try and shift that.
Alex,
Yes.
better off on your own or not?
Well, I've got a different story to people, and it's, you know, when Bid was saying if you only listen to your own voice, you only get your own thing. But it's complicated because if you have traumatic experiences in your whole life, and then you're trying to get out of that, it's difficult because a lot of people don't understand that. Oh, just get out more, you'll be fine, you'll start, and it's not. Sometimes you just can't get out. So loneliness, there was a There was an article written in Women's Health recently by a group of psychiatrists and psychologists. It was called The Rise of the Lone Ranger. And what that is about how loneliness is a very real threat to everybody, not just the one.
Especially in this age.
Because of technology, loneliness is
isolated.
taking over because when you suffer from loneliness and being alone all the time, you feel isolated, you can't communicate, you feel like you're threatened, you can't get out of bed, and it's a very, very real thing. So, loneliness is hard, and I agree with you,
Clinton, final word on this one?
Look, short and sweet. Lachlan, yes, you can be happy being alone, mate, and you can also be alone without being lonely. I've been single for 3 or 4 years. Sometimes, of course, you would like a partner, but you've just got to learn to be around your family, be around your friends. If you are feeling lonely, mate, though, please reach out for help. Join a club, try something different, but you don't have to be lonely. You don't have to be lonely.
When we come back, we're going to see how many of our panellists are conspiracy theorists. Don't go away, more of Sweet and Zach. See you soon.
Why did that question happen?
I want your love and I want your revenge. You and me could write a battle maps.
Come here. She's leaving us. We said hello to her at the beginning of the night. After a wonderful little stint of keeping us all in line, you're going to say goodbye to us. Boo. To London for 12 months.
Oh, she's getting
That's a promise, no longer?
Don't cry.
She'll be longer.
If I get into a good TV station, I might just have to stay forever. But I'll send in a letter.
All right, darling. Thank you for everything. All right? She's kept us in line. She's been our Sergeant Major. Thank you, Sylvia. Be well. Here we go. Letter 3. Dear panel, humans love drama. Conspiracies are thriving everywhere. I read that 71% of Americans believe that JFK's murder was a conspiracy and not the work of lone gunman Lee Harvey Oswald. 58% of Americans also believe there is a conspiracy surrounding the planes that some say really didn't hit the World Trade Center in 9/11. I'm also old enough to remember the Elvis sightings that occurred frequently for more than 20 years after his supposed death. And then there are the rumours of former Prime Minister Harold Holt being taken by a Chinese submarine. There are so many others. It's such an easy exercise to Google, and the never-ending list of conspiracies is huge. My husband and I just had a huge row because he's one of the first to always want to believe in the dark and negative side of humanity. He thinks the truth is always stranger than fiction. For me, I believe that none of that thinking can help anyone in life and just makes for a twisted mentality. You can go mad chasing shadows. So what's the view of the panellists? Are they fellow conspiracy theorists with my husband, or are they like me in thinking more that people love to create a sense of drama out of fiction? It comes to us from Maria of Clovelly in New South Wales. Alex, our conspiracy theorist on the panel.
I'm not into conspiracy theories.
Okay, good to hear. Tell us why not.
Well, everyone loves to believe things that's not real, like religion,
Ooh.
burning bush, talking snake. You don't like him talking about things that are negative. What do you want? All nice, hairy, fairy things like, unicorns? But I don't know. I don't believe in any conspiracies. Geez, you wouldn't want to have a list with that, would you? Conspiracy theories. No, I don't really believe in them because it just makes more hype.
You don't believe in any of them?
Well, we don't know. How do you know? Unless you know 100% and you saw it happen. Like she said, the World Trade Center, I saw a plane go into that building.
So did I.
I saw it.
So did I. You can believe anything.
So that's true.
But like Bid said earlier, science changes a lot of things and beliefs change over time as well.
Yeah, but you only believe what you want to believe, I think. Don't you?
But I'm with her.
I want
How
Elvis.
healthy
I
is
think
it?
Elvis is alive though, because I want to believe that.
Oh, we're going on to Clint.
I love Elvis.
Look, I love a good conspiracy theory, Gary. I love a good conspiracy theory. They're fun. But the thing is, you've got to use them, Maria, or your husband's got to use them in the way that they're probably intended, just for a bit of entertainment value.
That's all.
You really can't get yourself too caught up in them because you will drive yourself mental. Like with the World Trade Center ones, I sort of got a little bit into that. probably more than I wanted to, and in the end, I'm like, I have to turn this computer off.
Yeah.
So I am starting to believe this crap,
Well, it was on
basically.
24/7, remember?
But it was.
You can
all the
convince
ti-
yourself of
you
anything
can
if you've
convince
only got
yourself
one channel of
everything.
communication.
You absolutely can. I think just entertainment value. Obviously, I work at UWA there. The best way to deal with the conspiracy theory is what they do. When they have their sundowners, they call them the Harold Holt sundrowners. So I actually think that's just the best way to deal with it. Keep it light, keep it entertainment value.
Bid, do you have a favourite conspiracy?
Oh, I do. I think Elvis is alive and he's working in Vegas as
Yeah,
a Presley
too.
impersonator.
You too.
And he's really big.
He's working
Okay.
as an impersonator.
He is. He's working as an Elvis impersonator.
Impersonating
Yeah,
himself.
and nobody believes. He sidles up to people at the end of the night and says, "Oh no, I really am," and they say, "Go away from me." Anyway, Maria, you're talking to the wrong guy. I love conspiracy theories. Love them, love them. But there's conspiracy theories and there's conspiracy theories. Everybody remembers the Warren Commission, which found that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Very few people remember the Senate Assassinations Committee, which found, yes, there probably was a conspiracy. That is, Oswald didn't act alone. You talked about the Twin Towers, okay. What happened to Building 7? Building 7 wasn't hit by any planes, didn't explode, and yet it fell like a pancake about 3 hours later. Is that a conspiracy? I don't know, but it's fascinating. I love them.
Building 7, that's right.
Absolutely love them.
Building 7.
Don't get me wrong. And just for the record, it was a Russian sub that's supposed to have picked up poor old Harold Holt. Not off Cheviot Beach, not a Chinese one. Personally, I think it could have been Nessie or Bigfoot or a UFO or, gasp, maybe he drowned. Not everything's a conspiracy.
That's
dingo.
good. Then we
dingo.
all of a sudden have nothing to talk about. Tenille, last word on this one too. A woman, are you a conspiracy theorist?
Look, I don't like to put labels on anything, but of what I am or what I'm not. But I would say that it's all about intelligent research, making sure you back it up and you know what's there. Now, the term conspiracy theory was allegedly coined by the CIA to stop the masses from asking questions. So we've got to understand who's making the term conspiracy. Is it done so it's very convenient for us not to ask any questions? I would say question everything, anything and everything. It comes across the table,
Question
everything.
But
That's
do us a
mine.
favour and make sure you get balanced.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah,
sides. Do you like
exactly.
this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of our mate Alon Treves and Aussie Opticals, or do you like another one?
I'm going with this one.
You like this one?
Yep.
Bid?
Oh, love this.
Conspiracy. We like a good conspiracy. Do you like a good conspiracy?
Well, I don't want Maria from Clovelly to get it because I'd rather Lachlan from Hammersley get it.
Okay, you like
That's letter 2.
You like the lonely one, all
Yep.
right.
I like
Final
this.
word.
I like this, but if we give it to Lachlan, I live in Hammersley, so I can drop him off, mate. and you won't be lonely anymore either. This is the safe on
Which one are you
postage.
voting for?
Oh, do you know what? 3.
3. There it is, coming out to, who was letter 3? Maria
Maria.
of Clovelly. We've got to send it to Sydney. Bid, terrific to have you here, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks
Good
for
to have
having
you.
me.
You're acting in, we're not allowed to say, are
We're
we?
not allowed to say. Well, look,
But you're the angel of death.
I'm the angel of death.
All right.
Sorry.
We'll get you on after you've been the angel of death.
Well, can you?
Is there life after death?
I'll lie very still. I won't say anything, I guess, I imagine.
Tenille,
Over
thanks
to
for coming
Tenille.
back.
Thank you for having me.
We'll catch up with you again. We didn't
Yes.
have that chat on air, did we?
We didn't.
We'll have it next
no.
time. Good to have you here. Alex,
Yes.
what are you painting?
I'm doing a portrait of a black German Shepherd.
Does it belong to Clint?
No, because it's
Not
dead.
yet, I haven't bought it.
Oh,
It's dead.
We've got to go.
Okay.
Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew and our wonderful little Sophia who's disappearing to London.
Bye,
Thank you again,
Sophia.
Duff. We'll see you back here soon. And thanks for having us at Home Tonight Australia. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. And you can now like us on Facebook and Twitter and send a comment as well. Okay, see you then. Bye-bye.
What's Building 7?
Building 7. It's a building that actually collapsed, wasn't it?